Tēnā koutou, ka nui te mihi ki a koutou katoa, ko rangi paua te maunga, ko ha parapara te awa, ko rūtai te hapu, ko o tūwhare te marae, ko te whānau Apanui, winners of Te Matatini 2015. Oku iwi. So in my whānau, I got the looks, not the voice. So yeah, I'm here to talk to you about my personal change, and I'm going to talk about my life as a quick coach, and then leading into the stuff that I've been doing with the Heart Foundation. Oh, this is fancy. Which one do I push? Oh, all right. You know that movie, 12 Years So when I started, I had this deep desire to help people, just to help people. I've always been like that. I used to drive my mother nuts when we were having when people would come over and I'd be rushing around trying to make everybody comfortable, but that's the Maori way, eh? But I've taken that on into my life's work, really, and so it kind of was a natural fit, and so I had lots of well-meaning energy, and I was going to save the world. I'd landed in, I started as a smoke-free health promoter, and I used to talk to people about how good it would be for them to quit smoking, and then they would say to me, this is a long time ago, oh, well, okay, that's a good idea, how do I do that? And back then there wasn't really an awful lot of services set up to help people, so I thought, geez, I'd like to be doing that practical help for people. And even at that time, there was no NRT, you just had to have, meaningful conversations with people to help them change. So I'd done all the training that was on offer, and I'd like to acknowledge Denise Barlow, who's a very good friend of mine. I did the Heart Foundation training. I did Stephanie Cowan's smoke change training that she'd offered, which was focused on smoke-free pregnancies, and also the Okati Kaipaipa, the three modules that Sue Taylor and Marua Glover were providing. So there was some training out there, no NRT, which is a bit of a shame. I was willing to work hard, follow up my clients diligently and chase every referral, develop plans for my clients that would address their smoking triggers, go back and see them at home, track them down like a bloodhound, because where I live, that's possible. I only come from a small place and everybody knows everybody. And I had a reasonable success, about 20% success rate, which was quite good, and everybody said that was okay, but I was aware of all the ones I'd lost. So I'd be thinking to myself, geez, I used to get frustrated, how might I help them? Is there anything that I can do out there to help them better? So I had heard about motivational interviewing. I hadn't really done an awful lot about seeking out what that would be, or what that looked like, or what even it was. And it wasn't until I came to the Heart Foundation that I sort of looked at it in any sort of real meaningful way. So my talk is really about change, and it's my own personal change, and how I wished I'd known some of the stuff when I was first working with people to help them to be smoke-free. So really at the core of change is motivation. So, people need to be truly sort of feel it and know it to really want to change. So, motivation. Right, so I've been working with Mark Wallace-Bell, who is a lecturer, and he teaches motivational interviewing at a university in Canterbury. And when we were doing a bit of work on it, he put up this current definition of motivational interviewing. And he said, now, what are the words that stick out for you? What resonates with you regarding motivational interviewing in this particular definition? And I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, is it for real? There's heaps. So he said, no, come on, what? Just knee-jerk reaction, what jumps out for you? And so I saw a style of communication, and I was relating it back to the sessions or the interventions or the assessments that I did with my clients, and I thought, yep, definitely a style of communication. That it's for a person needs to have their own reasons, and also the language of change. So I thought, right, language of change. You mean what does that mean, Mark? And he said, well, if you can get people talking change, it will predict change, right? So I thought, okay then, how do I do that? So there is an MI process, and I've heard quite a few things mentioned about that this morning. Grace talked about open-ended questions, and so that's sort of like the first step of the process. So we ask open-ended questions. Why? Because we want to hear what people have to say, and we're listening for change talk when they're talking to us. So I think okay, right. I'll get to the change talk. So at the heart of motivational interviewing is empathy, right? So people will often forget what you say, and they'll often forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel, right? So empathy is a big part of motivational interviewing. Here we are. Here's my effort to change talk. So I used to hear this a lot from my clients. They used to say to me, look, I really want to quit smoking, but I'm concerned about weight gain. And that's a very, very common conversation that you would have with people who want to quit. Yeah? Weight gain is huge. Something like 70% of people will gain weight when they're quitting. Right? So I look at that statement, and I want to reflect back the change talk in there, right? And rather than the sustained talk. So sustaining that behaviour is they don't want to gain weight, so they sustain the behaviour. But I want to reflect the change talk in there. So I come back with, so you want to stop, but you're concerned about gaining weight, right? So I'm trying to emphasise the change talk, right? And the next one, I know it's bad for my health, yet I can't imagine not smoking. And you often hear people who will say, I really like it. I really like smoking. It's what I do when I get stressed out. It's the thing I do when I want to have some time out. So I often hear that. So if I'm going to reflect back some change talk of what I might see there, I would say, so you can't imagine being smoke-free, but you know it's bad for your health. Yeah. So this was an absolute revelation to me, because I reflected back on some of the practice that I was doing, and I realised that I was, overdoing the sustained talk. So I would often hear myself saying, "Yeah, lots of people put on weight," and I can see myself doing it. And now I think, did that actually help people want to change? I put too much impetus on the sustained stuff and not enough on the change talk. So that's my learning, my shared learning with you, is my revelation is about if we can keep people talking about change, it will predict change. It'll make it easier to do our job as quit coaches. I forgot to say that when I was working as a quit coach or a cessation practitioner, I realised that my title was actually didn't help people to change. So I call myself a smoke-free support person rather than a quit coach, a cessation practitioner. Who can say cessation for a start? They always used to tell me I was a sensation, which is fine because I am. But yeah. But what I really am, is a smoke-free support person. So what it says is that you've got to do some work here, and I'm going to support you. And the lion's share of the work gets done by the smoker or the person who's using tobacco. So needing to make them more self-responsible for that. Now, one of the biggest things is this reflective listening. I need to hear what they're saying to me, and I need to reflect back what they're actually saying, and I want to do it in a change talk way. Okay? So reflections are really important, and if I got the reflection wrong, for instance, if somebody said something to me and I repeated it back to them and I got it wrong, they would tell me, and I'd probably ruin that opportunity that I had with them. So the motivational interviewing tool here is that I believe what I hear myself saying. So if they say something to me like, I want to stop smoking, I reflect that back as change talk, then they believe what they hear themselves saying. So it's actually a really powerful tool. Yeah, change talk. I hope you finish reading that. Yeah. All right, so this is the process of motivational interviewing, I guess, the one that we train when we go out there and teach people about motivational interviewing skills, and the open questions, affirmations, reflections and summaries. Now, what I found in some of the trainings that we've been doing, just as of late, is that it's actually quite a struggle to do this stuff. I would say that you use it, the more you use it, the better you get at it. It's actually really good to use with your children, your husbands or wives or friends. I'm getting better at it, I guess. I'm getting quite skilled at it, I'm getting better at it. And I do tend to use it in situations when I think about it, when I do want people to do things my way, that's true. And I'm just reflecting on a netball practice I had the other night, getting my girls to step outside of their comfort zone and pick up the change that I want them to do when I'm coaching them on court and things like that. So I use it all over the place. It's a really, really good skill. I would totally recommend it to you to take up motivational interviewing. That's me. Yep.